Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from the refreshments. I hope you've had a chance to have a little bit of a mingle and connect with your fellow Expand North Star attendees. That's what this is all about. Inspiration here from the stage, but also inspiration from the people that you're getting a chance to meet. On that note, we are very fortunate that the two people who are going to grace our stage next are the perfectly most approachable gentlemen. So if you do catch them later, do make a note to make a beeline to them and meet them and ask them for their personal insights into the topic that we're going to be diving into next. We're looking at the founder insights, the smartphone boom and how it informs your business proposition. I had a chance to have a wonderful conversation in the green room just now with the co-founder of Nothing based in the UK, a fellow Londoner, Akis Evangelidis. He's come in especially from the UK to share his career journey with us. And I'm going to be handing over to the expert hands of Hashmi, the international correspondent from the BBC. He's been here supporting the Expand North Star sessions over the last 2 days. I'm really pleased to welcome him back on stage with Akis to take over and give you some more inspiration. Thank you very much. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Put it in my pocket, it's fine. Oh, so. Didn't realize. Thank you. A very good afternoon to everyone. I know we're getting towards tea time, so we'll make sure we keep this session snappy and we get a lot of interesting insights so that everyone is hooked on. Now, I've got here with me Akis, who's working for a very interesting company called Nothing, which is really creating ripples in the smartphone space. A company that started last year. They launched a phone in 2022, which was the first phone they launched in the market, which created quite a buzz, and now they've come out with a second phone. In addition to that, they've also launched other products like pods, earphones, and they're planning to expand their portfolio. So I'm going to deep dive in straight, Akis.
Sounds good.
Smartphone is a very crowded space.
Yep.
And one of the criticisms around smartphones for years was that pretty much every company, or whether it's Android or any other platform, they'd all become quite similar to each other. From that point of view, when you guys decided to enter the market, what was at the top of the mind that how can you differentiate in this crowded space?
Yeah, I guess, it ties back to why we even started this company. Back in the days, we ourselves as tech enthusiasts, users of our different type of technologies, we were just a bit unexcited in terms of what the industry had to offer. And not only, we grew up with the launch of the first iPod, interacting with the wheel, to the first iPhone, and so on. And back then, we felt that sort of technology was empowering us. There was a lot of positivity around it. The growth was exponential in terms of enabling us to do more. But in the recent years, there's been a more negative aspect to it in terms of the overall relationship we have with technology. And not only that, we felt that the industry, and if you look at all the products, is a perfect representation of the fact that the overall industry has plateaued in a way, because everything looked the same. So when we were set to thinking about Nothing, at the time we didn't really, we couldn't really afford to see thus far in terms of launching our first smartphone and so on, but the initial thought was, okay, can we rethink a bit our overall relationship with technology in terms of how we interact with it, but also ensure an element of creativity, differentiation when it comes to design. And last but not least, as a new brand that's been launched just 3 years ago, is to keep sustainability top of mind. So can we gradually, make tech to be gradually more and more sustainable? So those are the sort of 3 pillars we decided to address. At the time when we started, we didn't really know how things were going to go. And basically one step led to the other. We entered the industry by just launching a pair of earbuds. It took over the internet. It was immense buzz. Everyone thought we would fail. Everyone were telling us you're crazy to even think about entering this industry, competing with the world's biggest brands. But yeah, we sold at the time 500,000 of those kind of first products, enabled us to raise more capital. Following that launch, we raised 123 million. That enabled us to launch our first smartphones. Our first smartphone was a huge success, which enabled us to launch our second smartphone. And yeah, here I'm sitting with you today.
Well, quite a journey, I must say. You can't say it's a nothing journey because it's been quite
It's
eventful.
definitely the opposite of nothing.
It's interesting that the focus of Nothing has been on design. Design is a very important aspect, whether it's your phones or your earbuds. You've focused a lot on that. How crucial is that, and how do you marry that with the marketing side of it? Because there is a lot of hype we have seen with your products when they come on the market, on the internet, and there's this whole community that wants to buy it. So how do you marry the both? What's the strategy on that front?
So I think design differentiation was our low-hanging fruit in terms of, okay, ensuring we have a product that stands out, that speaks to the kind of creatives, the designers of the world, a bit like the Apple strategy early days, and we strike a chord in terms of all of a sudden you had all those kind of design magazine, lifestyle publication, fashion publication talking about us. So it was, I guess, our kind of way to start and differentiate ourselves while ensuring the key user needs when it comes to your tech are being addressed. But then we gradually saw a bigger vision towards design and really start thinking not about only design differentiation, but design innovation. And especially, for instance, through the back of the phone, we have this kind of, we call it the glyph interface, which is a lighting system that enables you to kind of understand what's going on your phone without all the time have to look at the screen. And similar to the homepage, we have this kind of widget system that's basically our like small windows into your apps to kind of have the way you interact with your phone to be a bit more intentional. Nowadays I'm sure everyone here relates to this. We open our smartphone to do something, and all of a sudden we're like 20 minutes scrolling through random stuff, which is not what technology should be doing from an empowerment standpoint. So having this kind of design innovation that comes towards the kind of user interface and how we're interacting with technology for us is something that we're seeing that there is a huge potential and something we've been kind of aggressively building upon for the last 2 years.
How do you see this space evolving going ahead? Because if you look at what's been happening over the last few years, smartphone sales have actually gone down. I mean, I think I was looking at the figure. Smartphone shipments were at a decade low. So clearly there is something that's not clicking for the industry, that's not working. Of course, there's technological disruption also happening parallelly. What is needed what kind of reinvention is needed for the smartphone industry to reinvent itself, going ahead?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's a question we're asking ourselves every day. We have some initial kind of thought starters. First and foremost, we do believe that, there will be a new type of technology that will come into play, that, smartphones are reaching a plateau in a way. They're kind of limiting us as individuals. It's like the overall experience doesn't feel right. It's sort of you're dragged onto the screen, you're disconnected from what's all around you. You're spending way too much time on the sort of, your digital life versus kind of the real. So I think an hybrid experience is a way forward. Now, what will enable this? We've seen a few things. We've seen glasses, but for people not wearing glasses, I think it's quite intrusive as an experience. It could be a supplement, but interesting. But I don't think that will be the revolution. We've seen voice assistant. Voice assistant, you still have to think on how you trigger it. So I think while it could be like complementary devices and product, we feel that the sort of main experience is this kind of hybrid experience, and also something that will eventually blend reality and digital world. That's sort of what we're kind of trying to think. We definitely believe that smartphones still a few years. We still have a few years. I think it's going to take time to crack this. We're working towards what will be that sort of next disruptive product that will hopefully replace our smartphones.
As you mentioned that, the smartphones have reached a plateau, kind of a saturation. And then we are seeing outside the smartphone sphere, there are a lot of new technological advancements that are happening. You talk about AI, virtual reality. Do you see them having some sort of an impact on this space somewhere? These could be disruptors for the industry, or you think it could be something? I mean, I know we don't know the answer, but do you see a kind of a threat from these segments?
I don't think a threat. I think a big synergy. Like I think when it comes to AI, I think personalization is a key thing. ChatGPT, everyone is sort of what democratized the whole thing, even though we've been in smartphone using AI for a long period of time. It's what democratized and people, so eventually those AI needs to be personalized and trained. But the smartphone and your sort of central kind of product gathers so much data around you. So think about AI like super AI in a way that kind of is being trained on your usage, where you go, how you interact, where you spend time, and kind of really collects the data and kind of very, in a very precise way, have a very customized experience to your likes and almost anticipating what you're going to need before yourself knowing what you're going to be needing. Let's say, if I was able to kind of take my phone and straight away would plan already my perfect vacation, because where I like to go, it would know where I would like to go, what type of hotels I'm staying at, and sort of collecting all this data and delivering to you this very personalized experience. So it will definitely play a huge part as part of this. But how do we bring this to life in a much more seamless way versus just all the time having your head down and looking at the screen? I think that's going to be the sort of next thing to crack.
I want to talk a bit quickly about the ecosystem. We have seen Apple has, kind of dominates that space. The ecosystem they've been able to build around their products, whether it's the laptop, the phone, the AirPods. But outside the Apple space, when you talk about Android, we haven't really seen someone being able to have that kind of dominating presence. Of course, the big players like Samsung and Google, they've tried that, but not had that kind of success. Is that an opportunity you see of someone in the Android space or another platform coming in and trying to build an ecosystem?
Yeah, 100%. I think definitely Apple is a benchmark. Now there are like great players in this segment like Qualcomm and so on that is working closely with us to see how we kind of bring to life a more kind of seamless ecosystem. I think Apple is definitely the benchmark. Once you are in the Apple ecosystem, the only issue is that it does limit you. Like it does limit you to what product they have, and it's very hard to kind of go beyond their own products. So I think there's definitely the space for an ecosystem play that's not only limited to specific brand of products, but like an overall experience. And that's actually how we came up with the name Nothing.
Interesting.
We were thinking about it. I mean, I'm sure every entrepreneur here has been through this. Like finding a good name is probably one of the most painful tasks. So I'm half Greek, so I was looking through the Greek mythology. Like I wanted like a very like, I don't know, something a bit inspiring and so on. And all the time we could find something that would click. Super hard to get both the website and the social media handles. And eventually we're on this for like 2 weeks, non-stop every day, having long lists. And actually one of my co-founder and CEO, Carl, he was, all right, let's think the end state of technology. What's like the ultimate user experience? And eventually it's nothing, where technologies are all around you. It's empowering you in a way, but it also feels like nothing because the overall experience is super seamless. And then yeah, we checked nothing.tech was available. Instagram and Twitter, you can register. So we emailed a few friends on both Instagram and Twitter. Over 24 hours we had the handles. And that's it, we went for Nothing.
Oh, that's very interesting. In terms of Nothing's vision going ahead, I know you've kind of seen that your AirPods came in, which were popular, and then you got the phone, the second one. How do you see the trajectory going ahead? How do you see the role you guys are going to play in this space? Because you've got an audience which is liking your products, but with that comes a lot of expectations. And how do you keep building on that?
I think it's consistency. You know, a lot of brands in this space have been lacking a bit of that consistency and like jumping on threads. One time is like AI, the other time is 5G, 6G, and whatever, and kind of not being consistent in terms of what they communicate and what they deliver, what sort of experiences they deliver through their product. You know, sometimes you see data privacy, sometimes you see well-being, and so on. And for us, it's like those core kind of three pillars when it comes to the product level, but also on the brand level. So first, like design differentiation and innovation, you know, bringing those joyful interaction, but also think a bit deeper about the overall experience. The second one around empowering, ensuring that whatever technology and experiences we bring to users, we empower them. Like there is just so much distraction nowadays on how you interact with your smartphone, how we can gradually eradicate this. And the last one being sustainability, and those are the sort of main points you're continuously going to be seeing as you're going to be experiencing Nothing products across the year, and of course, kind of gradually scaling more and more our product ecosystem.
In terms of, you know, the smartphones, if we look at them now, an interesting trend that's come up is a lot of them, especially at the high-end segment, a lot of people try to go for refurbished ones.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think this trend is here to stay? And is that something a cause of a concern for smartphone players, especially catering in that space? You know, the high-end space?
So the question is if it's a concern for refurbished smartphones.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about the top end.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these top models, they are, a lot of refurbished phones are in demand. For example, Apple.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
100%, and we should, you know, the supply chain and so on should be like kind of tailoring to those experience, because the most sustainable smartphone at the end of the day is the one you're not buying. So like as part of this, refurbished smartphone will play an important role, and it's something we definitely will be encouraging as we scale. I think it's a great initiative. But now it also shows that the industry has plateaued as well. If people are happy with refurbished phones, there is like not a real incentive towards buying new smartphones because the innovation is very minor. I think that's a sort of direct result of this. So, you know, for us it will be about growing, sustaining our current path, while we kind of slowly wait and kind of get ready for the next disruptive product, which we're convinced will be coming.
And that's the million-dollar question. What will be the next big thing? Well, that's all the time we have got for today. Thank you so much for joining us for the session. Really some very interesting insights from a new age smartphone company. And we look forward to seeing what comes up in the space from you guys. Thank you so much,
Thanks for
Akis,
having
for joining
me.
us. Thank you.